great, but you just never know how long it takes to get those sprained ankles to where a running back especially is functional.
Is everybody else okay, or
We're beat up a little bit, but I think he's the only one that I would say is questionable. I think everyone else will attempt to play, and hopefully we can get some of them healthier throughout the week. We expect to get an answer on Tayshawn Holmes tomorrow, whether or not he'll be able to return this week or not.
you mentioned this non-conference season kind of being like preseason. What are some of the things you like or and don't like about the way y'all are playing as you go into conference?
I'd have to start with our special teams. I think they're vastly improved from last year, and I think they've been very, very solid. Knock on wood, we haven't given up. Our punt coverage, kickoff coverage against some really good kickoff return guys has been really solid. We're talking, against Illinois, Virginia Tech also, and punt coverage also. Our PAT field goal unit is, after last Saturday night, I would say, did really well. If you'd asked me that Friday, I wouldn't have given you a nickel for them, but that shows you how smart I am. Like I say, they perform very, very well in the game, which as long as they continue to do that, I guess I can handle us not practicing it very well. But very pleased with the job Coach Platoon and the guys are doing, preparing our special teams. Defensively, I think that we've been very, very good for most of the time against the run. We're still giving up way too many big plays. If you look at the stat lines, and we gave up 4 plays the other night for 150 yards. That's half their offense. The same thing was true at Virginia Tech and Illinois. We've got to find a way to eliminate that. Then offensively, we still I don't like where we are in the turnover margin right now. We've got to quit turning the ball over, and we've got to complete some drives. Even, look at the positive is we were 10 for 10 the other night in the red zone, which is 100% with points, but certainly we would like to get 6 more times than 3.
About the offensive line, where it's at, and how you feel about it, from how it's progressed at this point?
Well, if you look at the other night, I feel good. The week before against Virginia Tech, we struggled in a very difficult environment. But we rushed the ball the other night for 370 yards, so certainly coming off that, I feel better about them. I do think we've got to continue to improve, but I do think they have made strides.
You notice a common denominator or common factor in Western Kentucky's turnover problems? It's kind of split, interceptions and fumbles.
Yeah, I can't notice anything real common other than, their quarterback does the same thing that Ryan does sometimes, and thinks he has to make a certain throw, and you want to make the big play, and you get a little greedy, and we struggle with that ourselves. And that's been the case in the interceptions, fumbles. It's been a variety of people, and it's usually not Rainey. He takes care of it. So I think if they're playing, if they are running the ball effectively and winning first down, I think you'll see him continue to carry it, and you probably won't have that turnover issue in the games where they've either gotten behind or weren't able to run it effectively is when the turnovers start occurring.
Coach, can you kind of talk about where you are personally? You talked about the team through the preseason games, but for you, you've had 2 tough road games against really good ranked opponents. You had an old school grudge match for Arkansas State against Memphis, and then you had an in-state game against UCA. How do you kind of feel personally? How would you rate yourself as a coach through your first 4 at ASU?
Oh, I think our team's played extremely hard, which is one of my main things, is to motivate them to play extremely hard, except for the first half the other night. And I don't think that was the whole team. I just think, and I may be harder on them than some, but I didn't think we played with the same passion in the first half as we did at the third quarter. And I think anyone that watched the game would probably agree with that. As far as the scheme and what we're doing, I really like what we're doing on both sides, other than giving up the big plays and turning the ball over. But I think offensively we do a lot of things that give people problems, and make them have to defend the whole field. And again, I think our staff is working extremely hard to put us in situations that we have success and play to our strengths. So, we'd love to be 4-0, but we have had 2 very difficult road games with teams that are both undefeated and ranked in the top 20 or so in the nation, and both their defenses are ranked really high. So, certainly, again, we'd like to be 4-0, but setting at 2-2, going into league play, we're somewhat pleased.